And we finally continue where we left off last time. I did notice that last time I missed a planet on the map, and it's this one, Hermes. And since I neglected this planet, I suggest we go and take a look.
Rachel, do you remember how I told you that my memory blocks were partially erased?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, I might have just discovered some memory clusters which contain backup data. I'm not sure if we can recover them.
And I guess you want me to do the dirty work, right?
Let me show you what I have.
Okay, so what do we have in here?
I've created a visualization of the memory clusters based upon the timeline of our expedition. Those clusters should be easy for you to piece together. The result should look like meaningful images to you.
It doesn't look that complicated. Why don't you do it yourself?
I lack your imagination skills. For me, all visual combinations look the same. I've just grouped them together based upon cluster modification time. I can, however, detect if the final pattern matches and lock it so you won't have to worry about that anymore.
I'll give it a shot.
I do remember when I first did this, I didn't quite get how this works. Let's see if it's better this time. It's been too long. So apparently you select a tile and then you can cycle it through all the clusters. As you can see, it appears here, then here, and finally it's here. Shouldn't have done that. Okay, so now we have one full cluster of greenery, which should allow us to recreate the image. Yeah, right. I think they're not part of the same image. This is tricky though, because it's two images that look very similar. Doesn't quite fit.
This must be it.
We've won a special prize. There was a blueprint among some irrelevant historical data. If you build it, we can modify Mobot to have his own personal analytics station.
That sounds like a great idea. It would save us a lot of time.
Let's do it then.
Julia, is this data really irrelevant? I might find out what was going on if you let me look at them.
I don't think so. Those are mostly routine system access logs and self-check reports. However, if you wish, I can upload them for you later. Let's build that upgrade now.
Oops.
That's it. I did it.
Hermes, Pile of Stones, is a gas giant which got its name from the peculiar stone formations which are present across the planet's 3 orbiting moons. It's about 12 times larger than the Earth and is composed mainly of hydrogen, helium and ammonia, together with a gas mixture impossible to analyze using the internal scanner. Hermes is absolutely unsuitable for a landing. Well, that makes sense since it's a gas giant. I don't actually know what it would be like to fly a probe on or through a gas giant. I guess, as the name says, you won't find any solids there. Maybe dust? Anyway, let's have a look at those planets, those moons that orbit around the planet. Hermes Beta. Hermes Beta is Hermes' largest moon. This moon doesn't look connected to the planet like Hermes Alpha seems to be, and the surface is riddled by streams of molten lava. Obviously, the core is extremely hot, and current conditions make Hermes Beta unsuitable for landing. Hermes Gamma. Hermes Gamma is the smallest and closest moon to the parent planet. With a tiny solid core 1/10 of Earth's moon and a thick unpredictable atmosphere, Hermes Gamma is unsuitable for a landing due to security regulations. And last one, Hermes Alpha. Hermes Alpha is the second largest and the most distant moon from the parent planet. While huge, tall, solitary rock formations vanishing into shrouds of mist are this world's main feature, its atmosphere looks safe enough to land. Even the existence of this world is a mystery, as it's somehow connected with a Hermes through a gas tidal bridge. Then we shall have a look.
Unreal. It doesn't look like anything I've ever encountered in my life. If there was an atmosphere, I could build myself a little hut on one of those pillars, and no one would ever find me again.
You might not want to believe it, but this planet has almost exactly the same atmosphere as Earth. It's just much thinner.
Look at those fantastic shapes.
My apologies, but all I see are rock pillars. Do you want me to analyze their composition?
No, I wish I could share this view with someone who was alive. These pillars must have been here forever. I wonder how they were formed.
It's indeed puzzling, but this moon is quite ancient. It has seen many things. It's senseless. There are thousands of these pillars. Without any additional help, we will spend an eternity in here.
As if we're in a hurry.
Do you really want me to send Mobot out there?
No, you're right. Let's not waste our time.
Looks like we'll have to come back later. And I would say the most interesting candidates are the two planets where disasters have happened. How about we start with Zenobia? Zenobia, or Life of Zeus, is an oceanic world that is 99% covered by water. While Zenobia is slightly bigger than the Earth, it is located directly in the habitable zone of the Thalia solar system. One day on the planet lasts a little less than 18 hours, and with an absence of orbiting celestial bodies, it will be interesting to study tidal forces. It does look like they have pretty much nothing but water.
This is so beautiful. Zenobia must be the cradle of life for the entire solar system. Is it possible that it's real water?
I think so. I will get a sample for you when we get closer.
I love this place so much. It's undisturbed even by our crew.
Rachel, You'll find this interesting. Those plants are emitting vapors similar to the gas ring around Zenobia.
Are you telling me that those little buggers are responsible?
I am not certain, but the similarity is striking.
Mobot, take a sample, please.
I'll get that for you.
Mobot, can you get me a specimen of this coral? I'd like to analyze it.
Affirmative.
Those crystals must be ancient. I wonder how they were formed.
Based upon the surroundings, I would rule out magmatic processes.
I think you're right. The most likely source is precipitation from this ocean.
Interruption. I am detecting a peculiar phenomenon.
What is it, Mobot?
My internal spectral analysis reveals some sort of a periodic signal.
Let me check it. You are right. There is some sort of interference. We need to isolate that frequency.
Can we do a fast Fourier analysis of the signal?
We need better audio equipment for Mobot.
So if we upgrade Mobot's audio, we can find out what the signal is?
If you manage to find and build the upgrade.
I
Those are the
already
same
took a sample
as
for you
before.
to analyze.
And that's the same as well.
This place is magical. So calm and soothing.
Yes, even I sense the tranquility. I wonder why my circuits respond to this place so strangely.
Maybe it's your first time by the sea. After all the time spent in probe, I'm finally on vacation.
Allow me to inform you that you're technically still in the probe.
Oh, shut up.
I was just gonna say that.
This blue sky is so Earth-like.
Still, don't you think the vapor ring around Zenobia makes it look really alien?
I wonder what Earth looked like in times when there was just water and nothing else.
Actually, it's time that we try out the analyzer we just built. Living organisms resembling plants that are actually millions of swarming small insect-like creatures. When gathered together, they form regular plant-like shapes as a result of their hive behavior. They also produce gas vapors of the same consistency as the Zenobia ring, and despite the improbability, they might be a source of that ring. Looks like coral to me. Analysis reveals that the corals are similar to their Earth counterparts and are formed by colonies of invertebrates originally washed away by the ocean. Further analysis would be necessary to discover the exact details of these life forms. But we don't have time for this because we have a mystery to solve.
Allow me to inform you that I was not built for underwater operations.
Are you kidding me? Julia told me that you can survive in extreme conditions.
Mobot is right. Unless we upgrade him for underwater operations, we can't risk doing this.
Damn.
Kinda sad, we need 2 upgrades before we can actually continue on this planet. Back to the probe. Oh, we we have yet another mystery planet. Ambrosia, or Immortal, is a rocky planet with a vast vegetation belt on the equator. It's also the very first exoplanet with directly observable extraterrestrial life. Of particular interest is a massive purple spot on the surface, which appears artificial and invites a closer inspection. A single day on Ambrosia lasts 27 hours. It looks like there is no vegetation beyond this green belt. And that's the purple spot.
Wow, this is entirely unexpected. That jungle definitely seemed to be inhabited.
Can you hear me up there? This place is quite disorienting for my directional sensors.
We can hear you loud and clear, Mobot.
Very good. Can you provide me with any additional visual guidance?
It depends on what we want to do here. We should definitely search for evidence of the expedition.
Okay, let's explore the jungle to see what we can find.
As you wish, Rachel. I'm activating the Advanced Visual Map Guide. Unfortunately, this place can't be mapped from above, so we have to rely on the auto-mapping feature. On the other hand, as soon as we map any important spots, I can automatically guide Mobot there without your further assistance. Simply click on the point of interest, and Mobot will go there instantly.
Is the auto-mapping feature ready?
Indeed. As soon as Mobot exits this landing zone, I'll make it accessible to you.
Thank you, Julia. Julia, do you know what I find the most surprising here?
Tell me.
This vegetation. It looks so similar to plants on Earth. Of course, I don't recognize any of these plants, but we're so far from home and plants look like plants. Rocks look like rocks, and it's even raining here.
Pardon my interruption, but I am detecting a faint trace of a very corrosive acid in the rain.
That's odd. Does it mean that the plants are resistant to it? Or is this the reason why some of the plants look so withered? This tree baffles me.
How so?
Look closely at the leaves. They're growing in thick clusters directly from the trunk. Even though the tree has lots of space for growth, it doesn't create branches.
Not much else to look at. Into the jungle.
Have you been to this jungle before?
Indeed. And it was quite a disaster.
Was the crew attacked?
Well, I prefer the term greeted, but the crew thought otherwise. They answered with gunfire.
How terrible!
Yes. Unfortunately, all those years of training for first contact were ignored in the realities of the jungle. The crew's fear of the unknown was too strong, and they did not even try to make contact.
You're saying they fired on sight?
Yes.
I doubt mankind ever learns. Buried deep in the jungle, with no sight of civilization and strange beings all around, they must have been so afraid. I don't think I can judge them. Do you know who was down there?
According to my recovered memory files, Andrew Lark led this expedition.
Again, Andrew takes the lead. Maybe his experiences as a soldier in the 2217 Middle Eastern War contributed to his paranoia down there.
Seems like Andrew Lark messes up everything that he touches, or, well, kills everybody. Gets in contact with him.
Wow, this can't just be a coincidence.
No, this structure was created by sentient beings.
This place is so tranquil, yet surreal at the same time. Almost mystical. This really isn't a natural formation, right?
No, someone has built it.
What the heck?
I am detecting a strong energy field.
Can you analyze what kind of energy it is?
It clearly has some electromagnetic properties, but I am still not sure what it is.
Is it dangerous for your circuits?
I don't think so. More likely, my sensors are not sensitive enough to understand the true nature of this energy.
Look at that flora! It looks neither alive nor dead, as if it were attracted towards that swirling spot. Maybe there is some kind of symbiosis keeping it alive.
She can clearly see things more clearly than I do. To me it looks like pretty much all the vegetation is dead apart from these flower-like things.
This tree looks hollow and dead. Let's check it out. Just look at this! That insect almost looks like a firefly. Let's catch it and learn more about it.
By the way, we don't actually need to pick up these objects and examine them. The plants and the insects, it's just for science. The tree has been completely consumed by millions of tiny insectoids. Upon closer examination, it's literally moving by incredible swarms of those insects. It's impossible to find out how the tree manages to stay alive. Okay, that's the light-emitting bug. The glow is caused by a phosphorus-based chemical compound excreted by the insect. This insect shares a few common features with Coleoptera. Their eyes are noteworthy because the insect perceives an entirely different spectrum, resulting in their ability to visualize environmental sounds. Interesting. Not much else left to do.
I am being approached by a local life form.
Stay calm, Mobot. Let's try not to repeat history.
Oh my goodness, no wonder the crew panicked. I'm glad I wasn't there. I don't know how I would have reacted.
I think that it's trying to communicate with me, but I cannot understand what it is saying.
Try to greet him and show him that we come in peace.
The creature pauses for a moment in thought. Suddenly it starts drawing mysterious symbols, as if wanting you to read them.
It seems they have a written language. I might have more luck analyzing it instead of their native speech.
This game, the first time I played it, I didn't quite get it. There is an explanation. I hope they rework it. Actually, what we have to do is we have to look at how many yellow dots there are and choose a cluster that has the same amount of branches. So in this case, it's this one. And we can see that the translation progress bar fills up. So what does he say? Please do not hurt me, you who came from the skies. The creature has raised two of his limbs in the air, crossing them. As his eyes gradually change to a magenta color, it appears to be surrendering.
Don't worry, we come in peace.
I'm but a humble servant of my lords. I've always obeyed the ways of the ancients. Have you returned to punish us again?
Let's pretend we have no clue about that incident, right?
Tell him that we're here to learn about the ways of the ancients.
Is that so? We welcome you to our home. If you indeed seek the ways of the ancients, you must help us answer the questions we have for many revolves.
Analysis. By revolve, it probably means the planet's orbit around their sun, which we would perceive as a year.
Explore our home at your leisure and meet me again by the gates of our settlement. And then the creature vanished from view. Obviously they have mastered the art of natural camouflage.
Are you kidding me? Unless there are more advanced life forms than the one we've met, it sheds an entirely different light on them. This must be a statue, and to think that an extraterrestrial life species produced this art.
Don't get carried away too much. You have no idea how they actually perceive this. I would be deeply surprised if they would share any kind of common view with humans.
You're right. It's just so similar in a sense. I would have expected something different. Everything should be different. What on earth? It's a standard issue laser gun. What's it doing here?
The sad thing is, to the local inhabitants, this weapon would be proof of godly powers. It is probably a holy relic to them.
It's scary to see such a common item depicted like that. It must have taken them a long time.
They did have 60 years after all.
They are so beautiful. Mobot, could you inspect the source of their glow?
Just a second. It seems that the glow is not actually caused by the plants themselves.
What do you mean?
They are covered by a thin membrane formed from little life forms. It is the life forms that are glowing.
Wow. So here we are, far away from Earth, witnessing a symbiosis between Plantae and Metazoa. Mobot, you'd be so kind and get me a sample?
That's gotta be the astrobiologist talking.
What is this supposed to represent? It almost looks like the local creatures.
It's a part of this artificial structure.
There are two of these statues, one on each side.
It doesn't look like that Ambrosian we just met. Maybe it's an object of worship.
If so, we should be more careful not to meet one.
Now I see they mean this thing.
What an interesting plant. The rolled up part might tell me more about their reproductive process. I've already seen some of these plants straightened out. I believe that at a certain point, the plant simply shoots out its seeds, like a slingshot.
Let us validate this with our analyzer.
Observation. These vines are not growing naturally.
Really? How so?
They are tied around the trees to create some sort of nets.
Nets? No, that doesn't sound right. They're too thick to catch anything. There must be a reason for those.
Let it be, Rachel. We should move on.
Sidewalk?
What do you mean?
Not a real sidewalk, of course, but it must be a walkway. They actually walk on these vines.
There's nothing in here.
Any clue what the purpose of that strange cavity is?
Maybe the locals use it to hide when it's raining.
I don't think so. It's not very...
I guess you'll never understand sarcasm, Mobot. It looks like a head. Do you think it's inspired by our expedition?
It might well be.
The spherical part contains some sort of a funnel.
A funnel? What for?
You use funnels to pour liquid substances without spilling them.
You don't say.
Very funny.
Another observation. A strange contraption is hidden at the back of the spherical part.
It looks like this statue has more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah, problem is we can't really do anything here yet. We need something that we don't have yet. We can at least read the inscription.
Mobot, can you look closer at the scratch marks? They look like an inscription to me.
You are right, Rachel. It seems that these marks once corresponded to the symbols on this object.
I confirm your observations. I might be able to recover some of them. Let me try recovering the inscription.
I still can't read it.
Based upon my new language data files, the inscription can be translated as "Flow with me to understand your past."
And that's clearly a hint as to how to solve this, but like I said,
Nothing happened.
Damn.
we're still missing something. We'll have to come back later.
I am not sure I can get you any more information about this funnel. Is there anything specific you want me to do with it? Interruption. The life form is approaching.
You have discovered the artifact of power. This was left here by our masters to remind us about our inferiority. A single ray from this artifact returned many of our kind to the ancient Xia. The being made a strange sound as it stretched his neck to an incredible length. I would expect such remarkable flexibility, but the gesture conveyed some deep sadness, as though he mourned the loss of his fellow beings.
I'm speechless. Our own paranoia, weakness, and aggression made us seem superior to these poor beings.
You shouldn't be so surprised, Rachel. Isn't that the human way of dealing with things they don't understand?
That's not true. Humans also run away and close their eyes from things they don't understand. Looks like we've found the village.
The blossoms, they're so beautiful. I wish I knew if they also smell nice.
I apologize, but I was never equipped with scent receptors.
It's all right, Mobot. Don't worry about that.
I will get you a sample. Traces of organic material confirm our preliminary finding. The local life forms built these walkways to quickly travel between various places in this jungle.
How do you use them? Are they somehow tightrope walking?
I would need to see this, but it seems that they might also be sliding.
Let's see about that.
Observation. The inside of the cocoon is an elaborate construction which is probably capable of limited motion.
Motion? What kind of motion?
I would suggest that they can somehow pull the whole cocoon way up to the tree trunks, making the whole cocoon invisible. In addition to that, the cocoon can be sealed to create a rather compact and impenetrable construction.
Clever.
Makes you wonder whether there are any predators on that planet.
These look like berries.
That's an interesting idea, Rachel. Mobot, can you have a closer look at them?
Hypothesis. The berries serve as food to the local inhabitants.
Why do you think so?
There are leftover stems of various sizes which have clear signs of picked or bitten berries.
Couldn't it be that they just fell down?
Negative. The ground doesn't show any sign of that. I will obtain a test section. Observation. The cocoon is not a natural construction.
So this is where they live? I wish I had the chance to really research these beings. To actually do some proper science for a change.
The flower shows a perfect symbiosis of flora and insect-like life forms, which form the thin membrane creating the characteristic glow. The insects are feeding upon the blossom and their excretions serve as a nutrient for the plant. An annual plant which ends its life cycle by committing suicide. At the end, the flower ejects all its seeds, tearing apart tissues critical for the further plant growth and life. The plant is carnivorous. Traces of digested insects can be found inside the blossom. The flower probably attracts insects with its glow combined with a strong aromatic scent and traps its prey in an internal pouch filled with a sticky substance. We do have plants like that on Earth. They just don't glow. An extremely strong and sturdy vine-like organic structure. Upon additional analysis, it has been treated with specific chemicals to reinforce its strength. What kind of chemicals would that be? Because these beings don't even have clothes. Serving as food for herbivorous alien life forms, this fruit would be highly poisonous for people, with a high level of cyanide-based compounds. It says interesting things about the wildly divergent digestive systems of aliens on Ambrosia. We are not yet done exploring the planet. better get back to that. And another obelisk.
Another of those obelisks. I wonder what purpose they serve.
I apologize, but I am unable to tell you more about this strange energy.
Rachel, look carefully at those bonding plants.
Why? Aren't those the same we've seen in the jungle?
Look carefully. They're actually part of one huge plant.
Do you think the whole forest is actually intertwined by one single organism?
We don't have enough data to tell, but it would surely differentiate Ambrosia from Earth, don't you think?
So let's get some more data now.
Time for boring science facts. There are actually plants like that on Earth as well, for example the banyan tree. It can grow over a large area and it's still only one plant, even though you see several trunks. Mobot is in front of a huge lake filled with a purple liquid. There is no sign of life, not even a sound apart from the soft hum of Mobot's engine.
What a weird place.
Indeed, it doesn't belong here at all.
We have arrived at the purple spot.
Obviously nothing could survive in the neighborhood of this weird purple poison. I wonder what really happened here. Mobot, can you tell me more about this liquid?
This liquid is a highly corrosive substance. I warn you against further analysis without taking protective measures, as it could damage my functionality.
No need to do that. I guess we know enough.
And we also know where the corrosive liquid in the rain comes from. And seeing how the plants react to it makes one think that it may not be something that has always been here.